Sitaram, welcome back to Conversations. Glad to have you on this Tuesday, January 30th, 2018. I'm Vishala Ganesh, and it's so wonderful to be in your homes this morning, wherever you are. Good to have you, of course. Radio and TV Jaagriti programming with you in mind. All right, well, we're well into today's show, and let's thank Vindar Suraj once again for the extended report, where we, gave you a little extra about what's happening in Trinidad and Tobago. And when you and I are more informed, things just flow a lot better in terms of our conversations. Always good to be in the know. Okay, definitely want to plug that this morning. But now we're shifting gears a little bit, and we're going to talk about technology. Yeah, and we're going to specifically talk about Data Privacy Day. And here on set with us today is Pandit Shiva Janak Maharaj, founder and director of ICT Expertz, and he's here today to talk to us a little about, what is data privacy? Yeah, so let's bring Pandit Shiva Janak Maharaj on set with us. Sitaram, and good morning to you.
Sitaram, Vishala, and Sitaram to all our wonderful viewers on TV Jaagriti. I always have to make sure it's TV Jaagriti. I'm so accustomed to TV and radio Jaagriti simulcast. But it's indeed a pleasure to be with you here today. And besides thanking you for the opportunity to be here to share this information, I'd like to thank TV Jaagriti and Radio Jaagriti, because they have been the ones who have been helping me with these particular awareness days that I have been promoting for the past 3 years.
Yes,
right?
indeed.
So TV and Radio Jaagriti, Lokesh Maharaj has supported us, and we thank the management and staff of TV and Radio Jaagriti for that opportunity. So as you said, we're starting off today's program because it's a packed week actually into next week, that we have so many activities that we want to make sure that our viewers are informed, as you said, and so we can make much better decisions when you have information.
Yeah.
So we did have Data Privacy Day, which was actually January 28th.
Okay, so that's Sunday gone.
That's Sunday gone, but because it was a Sunday, and we have so many interrelated activities coming up, we bunched the whole awareness campaign into one. So we're here to start firstly with Data Privacy Day, which actually started in the UK and Europe back in 1981. So imagine that. In the first avatar, in the first avatar, it was Data Protection Day.
Okay.
So the acronym is DPD.
DPD.
So it was originally Data Protection Day in Europe back in 1981 that started, and in 2008, Data Privacy, which was an American, was put together with it.
Okay, so it became Data Privacy Day.
It was both. It's both Data Protection Day and Privacy Day, because your data is it needs to be protected, and it needs to have privacy.
Yeah, definitely, and especially in the 21st century. So maybe you can explain a little bit about, what is data? What do we mean when we say data?
So before we can start that conversation, I like my videos, and we do have, because we represent the country, we are authorized to use the videos, the official videos. So we have the official video explaining Data Protection Day, and then that will spark our conversation.
Yeah, let's take a look.
Did you know that January 28th is Data Privacy Day? Well, now you do, and I bet you're wondering why you should care. What you may not realize is that there's probably more of your personal information floating around in cyberspace than you think. Everything from what you post on social media and your browsing habits, to the information organizations collect about you online leaves a digital footprint. And your reputation is an important thing to maintain. We're all guilty of oversharing sometimes, but don't panic. That's why Data Privacy Day exists, to help and remind you to better manage your privacy and protect your personal information. Here's 3 things to remember. Personal information is like money. Value it, protect it. Information about you, such as the games you like to play, what you search online, and where you shop and live, has value, just like money. Be thoughtful about who gets that information and how it's collected through apps and websites. Share with care. What you post can last a lifetime. Before posting online, think about how it might be perceived now and in the future, and who might see it. Post only about others as you have them post about you. The golden rule applies online as well. Here's how you can get involved. For more tips, And to learn more about Data Privacy Day, visit staysafeonline.org/DPD. And you can also follow us on social media.
Right, and there we saw some very important messages coming out of this video. They say personal information is like currency,
like money.
You have to value it and protect it. Yeah, so now we can get back into our conversation and continue, on that note, like how important personal information is online.
Well, as you mentioned before, and we all know and we can't deny it, that we live in a digital world. And because we live in a digital world, we have so many things like the cloud. A lot of people put their data on the cloud now because it's easier to access anywhere you are. We have things like IoT, Internet of Things, which is really anything you see with the word smart. Smart TV, smart fridge, smart watch,
phone,
smart everything. It simply means it's connected to the internet, right? And you won't believe the amount of data is being sent out without you even knowing. For instance, your location. As long as your location is on, let's say the big brothers, they call them, right? They know where you are and they send ads to you that pertain to your location. Now,
so are we really safe then?
That's the question. So we have those big data, the big brothers. We also have, with the creation of, like for instance, in Trinidad, we have 4G LTE, faster internet, faster mobile. So we are always connected. Because we are always connected now, for instance, that has both the pros and the cons. So we really have to decide what is really personal to us, what is private to us, what do we want others to access. And a lot of people, they give a lot of information online without even, they are not aware. So many people are not aware when an app comes up and it asks you, give this app access, and you say yes to your contacts, for instance, allow access. And you, without thinking, you're not reading, you want the whatever
service. You want the app, so you don't think twice.
You want the app, so you don't think,
say
say yes, and that automatically read the fine print. Long ago when you have contracts, you have the fine print, which is what happens to that data. So we need to be a lot more aware of those fine prints, what goes on when you agree, because you are agreeing for that information to go out there.
To be shared,
be shared. It's your personal, private information that is going to be out there and be shared. So that's why we have those three little, for Data Privacy Day, we actually have a theme which is similar to the theme that we had when we launched Safer Internet Day here. It has creating a global community that respects privacy and safeguards data and enables trust. And that begins with each one of us. So we have to educate ourselves. Now, that's not possible, of course, in an interview like this or anything. So that's why ICT experts have created the brand DigitalGuru, which was born right here at Jaagriti, right? That brand DigitalGuru. Now we have lots of programs that educate from the youngest child to the, the grannies and the grandpas, the nanny and the aji and the aja. We have courses for that whole range. Little short courses, we have free courses, of course, within this week. This is the opportunity for everyone to take advantage of the free stuff that we have. For instance, as long as they follow on our Facebook, in our YouTube channel, we have past programs that we would have had here on Jaagriti.
Yes.
Like we have a full program actually on Data Privacy Day from last year on YouTube that you can go
so and you can take a look.
And you can take a look and you have all the information there, right? So as you mentioned, the personal information is like money. We need to be careful who has access to it. Also, especially for young teenagers, your online reputation, what people think of you, what they perceive you to be.
Right. So on the video as well, you heard like we're all guilty of oversharing sometimes.
Of course.
Yeah. So that was important. Do we overshare?
We definitely we see that people overshare. That some people their whole life is posted. Everything they do, they tweet. We see how the President of the United States sometimes gets in trouble.
Over 2,400 tweets since becoming president.
And then that's a very important one that we have, especially for the younger ones, because many of them don't realize that when you go for a job interview now, they actually check your profiles. to see what's in your head, what are you about?
What kind of person are you?
Yeah.
And you have to be so careful. So that, you know, you may have gone, I don't know, to a party or something, and then you went live. You know, there's this thing about going live now.
Yeah.
So you don't even have to share and wait for the reactions. You can go live and the reactions are happening at the same time. Yeah, and that can actually, you know, be the difference between you getting the job and not getting the job.
A perfect example is one that I read about and I presented in a seminar, and lo and behold, a few weeks after, there was a live example of it here in Trinidad and Tobago, where someone was given a job and they posted something on social media negative about the company that hired them, and the boss replied and said, well, you don't have to show up to work. That's an example we use of how you shouldn't, you know, be careful of what you post. Because it stays there.
Social media, exactly.
It stays there. Whatever goes online stays online.
Yeah, now you can't delete posts now, but whoever saw the post before it was deleted, that will always remain in that person's mind.
Actually, though, if it's a photo or video, you don't know who have downloaded it.
Right.
And they can repost it,
reshare
it, repost it. There are always people out there lurking, waiting for you to make a mistake like that, for something like that. So, to prevent that, we try to, during this period, try to make people understand about their privacy settings. Many people don't have those things set up.
Right, and that's important to know about.
In your social media, you have to have your privacy settings. Who can access your information? Who can see your information? Is it just friends and families? And when it comes to friends and family, you have to be very, very careful who you call friends.
Right.
Because, you know, we have, like for instance, there's a lots of cases of relationship revenge. You know, a relationship went bad and you have a lot of private photos that you would have shared with that person, and because of whatever, they now have access to it. They post it out. Young people don't think about these things.
Exactly. It's cool in the moment, and then you know, something like this happens.
Because you're thinking, well, this is the person I'm going to spend the rest of my life with,
you know,
and you share so much with them.
Naivety, not always the case.
Not always the case.
And a lot of people have been burned, you know, in that way. And we've had cases in Trinidad and Tobago where situations like this end up in court.
Yeah. So a part of the whole data privacy in creating this type of environment, we have posted those. We need to follow us on Facebook, actually, right? DigitalGuru tips, DigitalGuru tips, and this is where we share this information. So we have an infograph that tells us all about what you can do at home, and at home, what you really need to do is start that conversation from a young age. Instill those things with your children, how to use, because we know the youngest child is on their tablets, on the phones.
Yes, and
they're using, and we sometimes, you know, just to get them occupied, we hand them
a tablet or something.
But how many parents do have the conversations, what you can do, what you cannot do, when you can do, when you cannot do, and have those rules set up. So we actually have a parent day workshop this Friday coming up. We'll share the information in a little while when we start speaking about Safer Internet Day. But in that, parents, we actually give them, you know, how to start the conversations with your children about privacy and all these other things about keeping themselves safe, the information that they put out there, all those things, how to start it. And believe it or not, you know, just like we have an expectancy contract when you have a new employee. That is something that you should have in writing with a child. When you can use your technology, how you can use it, what you can use it for. That should be written, that should be spoken to about and agreed by both parties.
Oh, okay.
So those types of... Yeah, no, well, and it's needed. Because definitely the kids, because the most parents are unaware of the type of things that they can do online, and they are doing online, they take full advantage or disadvantage, whatever you want to call it, of that. of the parents' ignorance
Yeah, like they
of
just
what
want
they are
to
doing.
go about doing their own thing. You know, they're busy and quite
So
caught
we
up.
need to get those parents on board.
And
in
as you
terms
said,
of
so
that.
you'll teach parents about data privacy and a safer internet on this Friday at a workshop.
Yes, this Friday, 2nd at the El Dorado North Hindu School. It's at 4:30 in the evening, afternoon. You know, we put it for after work, so hopefully we'll get more parents involved.
Good. So
Right? And it's
4:30.
not only for the parents of the El Dorado North Hindu School. It's for all parents who are listening and viewing us on this interview, and when we repost on social media as well. If you're listening and watching, viewing this video online as well, you're welcome to come and join and learn about these things.
Yeah, because it's one thing teaching the young people how to use these social media, but definitely, I think it's very important to teach their parents
Exactly.
how to allow them to use the technology. And parents, sometimes they just let them loose on the technology, and they themselves don't really understand the technology and how harmful it can be. And even they themselves, when they're using the technology, they are guilty of sharing too much, and their privacy settings aren't activated, and and you have to teach parents how to manage this new world. Yeah, better.
Then we also have messages specific to employers, because at the end of the day, a company's data is worth a whole lot more to them sometimes than even their physical assets.
So what are some of the things we can do to protect the company's data and our personal
company's data? Again, you need to have policies in place that on orientation of the employees, that they know about the proper use of electronic use. And we have things locally, and we are luckily actually here in Trinidad, we do have a Data Protection Act that can be followed. We do have a Computer Misuse Act that can be followed, and we can actually help organizations like that who are interested to formulate those policies specific to your use, right? But especially like for Jaagriti, for example, here, you're a media house, and your data is very, very sensitive, very sensitive, So the employees need to know what they can and cannot do, just like the kids at home.
What
right?
can share and
cannot share. Then you need to have your passwords in place, so that when you leave a screen, you don't just leave your computer with all the information there. The use of external flash drives and so forth, right? Because these things may have, and that's actually how,
sensitive data.
Besides sensitive data, that's actually how some of the major organizations were hacked. Because the hackers now, they drop a flash drive with their virus or whatever down close to the entrance of the company, and somebody will say, oh, someone from inside dropped this, and they pick it up and they go inside, and when they plug it in, it activates the virus, so the malware, we call it malicious software, right? And they, through that now, they have access to your internal network.
Yeah, and you see, you have to be so careful.
Yeah, so your policies will deal with things like that. Right?
Yeah,
and then for simple things like having
so if you find a flash drive outside or whatever, you bring it inside, don't plug it in.
Right, and then you have simple things like two-step verification for your emails and so forth. Yeah, so you need to have some other your text to your phone, so you know when somebody is accessing your information. So all these things need to put in place. How many people are aware of these things? So that's why we're here, to make them aware, to let them know we have workshops, we have seminars that will help you with this.
And we need it. All right, so, well, we're going to go to the 9 o'clock business update in a little bit, right? So we're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we'll continue our conversation. We'll continue the conversation on data privacy, but talk about Safer Internet Day. We started that conversation before, and Pandit Shiva is back with us again to let us know more about Safer Internet Day. So stay tuned. You're watching Conversations right here on TV Jaagriti.